Also, they had mentioned Diane, like the kids, Michael Jackson's ex-wife and the mother of his children, Paris Blanket and Prince, I believe that's the other kid's name. But yes, Diane was in this investigative interview series, or it's not a series, but investigative report. I'm just gonna say investigative report. She, with from her recollection of the relationship between her, Michael Jackson, and Lisa Marie Presley, was, you know, Lisa Marie was not fond of Diane because she felt, even though Michael Jackson wanted kids at the time and Lisa Marie didn't, it was more like Diane was, in Lisa Marie's eyes, it was like Diane is a homewrecker perspective, and she basically um colluded our marriage to a certain degree, but all because I didn't want children at the time. And Diane's perspective of her her presence, or yeah, her presence when it came to having Michael Jackson's children, was that since Lisa Marie didn't want to have kids, then she will step up to the plate as a surrogate and provide the kids to Michael, or give Michael some kids, since Lisa Marie was reluctant at the time, or didn't want to, because she just wanted to, I guess, continue the process of becoming her own as a woman, because she did get married young. So it seems like, just as much as Lisa Marie was getting into marriages very quickly, it also seems like she was not able to have some wiggle room for her to work on self-improvement, self-reflection, some healing, and then move into a relationship. It seems like she was quickly, just as much as they were ending, she was definitely getting into. So that's a lot. Okay, and I believe that still resorts down to her upbringing in her childhood, as well as the relationship between her parents. Okay, and she was in one accord with one, but not with the other. All right, so now moving forward to again explaining Diane's role between her and Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie's situation, was that she wanted she felt like it was misunderstood, because her Diane and Michael's relationship with each other, as far as like a friendship wise, the way she explained it was more of like a I wouldn't say brother sister type of deal. I would say more like um soulmates type of deal. Okay, because soulmates doesn't have to be about finding your soulmate to be with that person forever. It could be like a soulmate that could help you along your journey to where you want to get to. All right, so like I said, she just basically stepped up to the plate, or volunteered as surrogate to provide the kids that Michael want at the time. But because by the time Lisa Marie would want kids, it would have been too late, basically. So now that she split up with Michael because of that incident, because it seemed like she really was probably heartbroken, and at the same time betrayed, because it seemed like she didn't get a word in. And I mean, like Lisa Marie, it seemed like she was not able to have a say so in this. It was more like, okay, since you don't want to have kids, I'm gonna have the kids, and then you're just gonna have to deal with it's sort of like that type of deal. But I'll get into more than that later. I'm gonna have to do a separate video on this. Or just break it up into 2 parts, okay? I think that's what I'm gonna do, break it into 2 parts, because it's a lot. And I'm already looking at the time, and it's okay, anyways. So marriages. Okay, so after she ended things with Michael, that's when she got married to Nicolas Cage. And within 107 days later of her and Nicolas Cage getting married, he files for divorce. Nicholas files for divorce because the way he explained it was that they're both rebels, and because that's what drove them in, was their rebel spirit, but that's also what drove them apart. So it seems like they started too quickly, or the passion was there too quickly, to where it ignited very quickly, and they didn't give each other time to get to know each other in a slow pace. It was more like type of deal. Okay, so after that divorce with Nicolas Cage, that's when she jumpstarts her career in music, and it ended up going gold on the charts. And then she started going on tour that following summer, and she met her husband again, her 4th husband, I believe. And this was Michael Lockwood, and they got married in January 2006, and they called it quits in 2016. So they had 10 years together before they divorced. And along the way, they had twin girls, okay, which was, they have twin girls, which was the same twins that the first ex-husband, Danny, had dropped off before returning back to LA to tend to Lisa Marie. And the thing about this is another highlight, because after she had her twins, she was in pain after giving birth, and the doctors gave her opioids. And that was the time that they handed them freely, okay? So with her, instead of her getting alternative medicine to cope with the pain, they prescribed her with opioids, and that's what led her into having abusing the opioids. And that was a trying time then, and I'm pretty sure she was suffering from postpartum depression too, as well, from having the twins. And so, and again, that's when she was ready to have children. But again, by the time, like I said, and it was probably a blessing in disguise, now that I look at it, of Michael having his kids before his passing, because by the time she had kids, as much as he wanted kids from Lisa Marie, but now that I'm seeing the timeline, by the time she had the second set of kids, which was the twins, that's when he ended up passing away. So now, not only she is dealing with the twins, as well as being addicted to opioids, and Michael Jackson's passing, that's another traumatic event. Again, besides her father's passing, Michael Jackson hit a nerve with her as well. All right. So following through with that was the divorce in 2016. And again, it gets nasty. This is when the turmoil gets into play, because this divorce between her and Michael Lockwood was very nasty, as reported, because he, on his end, he told the courts that she was an unfit mom because of the substance abuse, and with her, it was more of, hey, I seen images of child porn, just replace the C with the P, and that led to the nasty custody battle. So now, let's see, oh, that was Miss Cleo. So now the nasty custody battle comes about, and from what has been reported is that he asked for 40 grand monthly, but the courts decided it was going to be 6,000 monthly instead. Do you know what I could do with 40 grand? At least more like 60 grand. I mean, not 60 grand, but 6 grand. Girl, my goodness. But yeah, the courts came into agreement of Michael Lockwood getting 60 grand for, to provide for child support, to take care of the twins, because of him stating of her being an unfit mom at the time because of the substance abuse. And then following through with another traumatic event, which is the passing of her son, Benjamin. And Benjamin is from the first marriage. He passed away from a self-inflicted pow wound. And he basically just took his own life. Okay. And that shook her to the core as a grown-up, as a mother, because not only he was the eldest son, and I believe he was the only son, but they had the closest relationship with each other. Her and her son had the closest relationship with each other because they had dinners almost every night. And also, he passed away at the age of 27 years old, and it was found by the girlfriend, because when they did the toxicology report as well as an autopsy, but I believe it was more of the autopsy than the toxicology report, they found drugs and alcohol in his system. So as a result, she locked herself in a room for the next 2 years, and the family had also had extensive long conversations with her to help her, cope and assist her with her grieving the passing of her son. And it was also stated that if it wasn't for the twins, she would have took her own self out the same way, which is very concerning. And then apparently she was clean, because they also stated that she reverted back onto opioids to cope with the loss of her son. And that's what led to her ex-husband, Danny, who is the father of Benjamin that they have together. It caused him to move in so he can not only keep an eye on her, but also caregiver as she is maneuvering the day-to-day life, making sure she is all right. And at the same time, take care of the twins for her, or assist her take care of the twins, because the shock of his passing has just had her, it happened unexpectedly. Okay, I don't know what events took place before his passing, but something had triggered him to end his life in that shape or form. So when they discussed her locking herself up in a room for 2.5 years, so basically since he passed away during the panoramic, right? It seems like the Golden Globes was literally her first time being out in public like that. That's what it seemed like. But I believe they said she came out to speak at Graceland when it came to the anniversary of her son's passing, if I'm not mistaken. But her first time actually officially being out like this, it seemed like the Golden Globes was like her coming back out in public like this. So when they explained that portion of her after her son's passing, that she locked herself in the room for 2 years, locked herself in the house for 2 years. Back up. The house for 2 years. So she restricted herself in the house for 2 years, and with family having conversations with her to help her cope and navigate through her grieving process. With me studying the DEATH doula, okay, because I experienced some doulaship here and there, and I came across the grief process, because there are stages of grief, right? And everybody grieves differently. But I believe the type of grief that she had, and I'm trying to go through this darn thing and look for it. Here we go. I believe the grief that she had is complicated grief. The reason why I came to this conclusion, in my opinion, okay, in my doulaship experience and still navigating through this thing, is because, as explained with complicated grief, the pain of losing someone or something may never completely go away, but the heaviness should become less and less over time. When it doesn't, and it interferes with basic activities in daily life like bathing, eating, socializing, it may be a sign of complicated grief. Complicated grief usually arises from a passing of a loved one where the loss has left you stuck in a state of heavy grieving. If you're experiencing complicated grief and the pain from your loss keeps you from doing daily activities, it's important to reach out to a professional support to get what you need and help you heal. So I don't believe she never healed. Honestly, I believe she never healed from the passing of her father. Even though she was young, at the young age of 9, I don't believe she got over that grief, okay? And especially she has encountered several griefs along the way with not only her father, Michael Jackson, and her son, 3 prominent men that played a prominent role in her life, passing away in those capacities. I seriously believe she passed away from a broken heart, and she had a complicated grief as the type of grief that she had, okay? Let's see, unrecognized grief, not acknowledged. And I believe she had unrecognized grief too, because with unrecognized grief, this is dealing with when your loss is devalued and not acknowledged by others. Some people may minimize the loss, less important, or even say things like, "Aren't you over that by now?" And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody within her family has said that to her once in a lifetime, once or a couple of times in her life. As well as unrecognized grief can occur when your relationship with the deceased, as a neighbor, beloved pet, work colleague, classmate, or even public figure. So I believe she had unrecognized grief as well, because there is no way she was able to have that anticipated grief where you're starting the grieving process before it actually happened. But I truly believe Lisa Marie Presley had unrecognized grief and complicated grief, as well as a broken heart, because all the things that was going on in her life. So again, falling back into the breakdown analysis, now after the passing of her, now comes the fortune. And how they explained it is this is reversal of fortune, because they said at the time that she passed away, there was basically no money left in the estate. And I know everybody's like, what? There's no money? How was she able to still live on? Well, I'm going to tell you. And also, there was 2 questions that were lingering as well, which was who's going to get custody of the twins? More likely it's going to be the father, Michael Lockwood, but also who would get the payout. Okay. So, because what they had said, she had blew through $100 million in 25 years. Now, how did she get that $100 million? That was because of Priscilla, her mom, turning Graceland to a stream of income, providing making it as a tourist attraction, okay, for people to come and visit Graceland. And I'm gonna tell you, out of all my years of being in this house, I never been to Graceland, but I will make my due diligence to go there one day to visit, because I like looking at antique stuff and how the person lived at the time. You know what I'm saying? It just gives you another perspective and the personality trait of a person once you see the elements in their home. Okay. Now, yeah, Lisa Marie Presley had $10 million in her bank account. Why? Because of the stream of income from Graceland, and because that was a cut from Lisa. That was a cut from the mother making Graceland as a tourist attraction, right? So within that $100 million, that should last you a good little penny, as long as you are like financially disciplined, right? But according to what TMZ had investigated, she was not that financially disciplined, as well as didn't mind spending big money or doing some heavy shopping. So I feel like she got that trait from her father, because the way he showered her with gifts and stuff like that, I feel like she got that from her father, you know. Okay, because I believe he was a big spender as well. He enjoyed the finer things of life. Also, they stated that she was $40 million in debt at the time of her passing that needed to be owed to the IRS because of the big spending and the bad investments. So now the estate was flushed out with cash, and she took out life insurance policies, one for $25 million, one for $10 million, and another might have been another $10 million. But overall, $30 million needs to be distributed between 3 kids, okay, since her passing. And on top of that, if I'm not mistaken, Elvis put Lisa Marie as the beneficiary because he thought she was going to outlive both him and Priscilla, but that didn't happen. The child went out before the mother, so now it's again a reversal of fortune. It's back at square one, to where people are going to have to be assigned, and all that other stuff, and hand out the assets, distribute the assets equally, right? Without anybody being in a tussle. But I think that's too late, especially for this family, on how they describe what's brewing on the horizons. is that there's already bad blood. There was bad blood before, well, there was beef before the passing of Lisa Marie. More so with the ex-husbands, Michael and Danny. The first and the last ex-husband. The first and the last ex-husband. They're basically beefing, okay? They are beefing, and I'm pretty sure there are egos and pride all up in the way with these two when it comes to the children, because again, with Lisa Marie passing away, there's money on the line and there's children on the line. More likely, Michael would take custody of the kids because he is the biological father of the twins, and because I believe someone was restricted from having a relationship with the kids per se. Yeah, I believe one of them was restricted of having a relationship with the kids. However, Priscilla and Riley are still able to see the twins. Riley is the oldest daughter out of the siblings. Priscilla and Riley are still able to see the twins. However, the ex-husband, they're beefing. They're like, the way TMZ explained it, they said on a scale of 1 to 10, they're about at a 9. So the ish is about to unfold between the ex-husbands. So I'm going to have that noted in my head as well, that look out for the husbands and their behavior, because things really do get ugly. A lot of secrets come out when people pass away, and sometimes it's for the good and most times it's for the bad. Okay, that's why I believe it's important for us to just have have our skeletons laid out, or have those hard conversations before getting sick and ill, because whenever people get sick and ill, they don't want to tell people as well that they're sick and ill, because they don't want no pity party, especially with the elder generation. They don't want to and a little bit of Gen X too. They don't want to tell folks that they're sick because they don't want no pity party. They still want to maintain their independence, and the list goes on. However, it is important to have your stuff in order before unforeseen circumstances happen. When it comes to life insurance, wills, assets, all that, because you can definitely see the ugly side of people when someone transitions to the other side. You think it's ugly when divorces happen? No, ma'am. Nothing tops a person pass away that has assets, okay, when it comes to people acting a fool. All right? Nothing tops that. If I have to compare my situation when it comes to people passing away in the family, especially the elders, right? Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns is a prime example. I know a lot of people don't like Tyler Perry, but y'all really need to go back and rewatch those movies, because they do be having some inklings of some gems that we need to take into consideration when it comes to people passing away, because a lot of things do get revealed, and people are not going to take lightly to that at all, because of the skeletons of the person have been revealed. People start coming out of the woodwork, and you looking down on the side like, okay, where this person come from? Where this person come from? Or is this person that's been with us for a long time? Are they really our family? I mean, comment down below if you feel the same way. And I'm definitely breaking this up to 2 parts, because this is long. I'm telling y'all, I'm breaking it down, y'all, because this is just as much as this is happening with the famous family, this is happening with everyday families. And this is why I am doing my content like this, because there, this is why I do the things that I do and do the content the way it is, because I want y'all to see the bigger picture of the things and not get your emotions all tied into a situation. Yes, it's okay to feel what you feel at the moment, but at the same time, you got to step out of the emotional realm and look at it at a logical standpoint, because you can peep some stuff out when you do that. Okay, but when it comes to that child support ending because of her passing, all Michael, this is what they said, all Michael has to do is go to the person that is over the trust at the time, request some money to continue on with the payments. And if he gets denied, he can go to the courts and petition it and request the money so he can get still get child support for the children. And I don't know if he works or not, or whatever case may be. And this is probably because she introduced him to the lifestyle, right? And that's why she has to pay out child support. But low key, bruh, if you're not working already, just go ahead and start working, because that could be another factor why she went out the way she did. I don't know if this was on purpose or on accident, but just based on what I have analyzed from the tragedies of her father, her ex-husband Michael Jackson, and her eldest and only son Benjamin, that can do it with a person. And then also with the trauma of those things happening, going in and out of marriages and not having wiggle room for healing and self-reflection, getting to know yourself better, right? That can be a banter on that. The repeated history. So I'm gonna take a look at the ancestral impact on that on my spiritual channel, whatever the case may be. Because if those patterns do not get addressed in the lifetime that you're living in now, is going to get passed down to the future generations to come. So that's why it's important to break those patterns now, so the lineage can be healed and provide a little bit more abundance and prosperity to bring forward with the other generations to come. And then final, with the turmoil of the divorces happening, child support, the money going in and out, mainly out, not having enough funds to taking out life insurance policies to maintain the living and stuff like that. And again, when I looked at the picture of her being at that Golden Globes red carpet, I can tell she was there physically, but not there mentally. She was there physically, but not there mentally. And I know it's signature of her having like the what is it, is it the 70s or the 60s hairstyle, where you have that the hump, you have a little flush at the top, and then and straight at the bottom, or whatever case maybe, you have a little zhuzh at the top and then have the straight bone. I'm gonna tell y'all this now, okay? I wish the person who styled her hair at that time for the Golden Globes, I wish they had her hairstyle in like a little messy chignon bun, a low bun, because of the snake pendulum, or the not pendulum, the snake element, right? The snake accessory that was on her dress could be like a little bit more of an asset to her wardrobe, her style that evening. Because I'm gonna tell you now, that hair looked a mess at that night. That hair looked a plumb out mess that night. Her hair should have been in a bun, a low side bun in a nice chignon, right? With a couple of waterfall curls coming down, or she could have had the bang strands coming along down her sides as well. Because that hairstyle she had that night, no ma'am, that was a no for that dress. No, that was a no. So anytime people have dramatic dress or a simple dress that has a dramatic piece on it, the least you could do is have a updo hairstyle that is not that much dramatic, but essential, that helps bring out the dress better. Okay, because that really just tore me up a little bit. That really got under my skin a little bit. Of the way she looked on that red carpet, even though she was in and out of it, as the correspondent had said on the red carpet, like she was slurring her words. She had to have somebody there to hold her up, which was her ex-husband. And from what they were saying, that they were surprised that she even showed up with him because of the bad blood between them. But yeah, y'all, that hairstyle was a no for me. Okay, the hairstyle was a no for me. Y'all could have did better with her hair that night. Okay, but that is my thoughts on the breakdown of the Lisa Marie Presley. I hope y'all were able to follow me on this in regards to the events that lead up to her passing. Like I said, the number 2 sequence was definitely prominent in her breakdown, as well as the tragedies and the multiple marriages and the divorce and all that other stuff. That's a lot to take on, for a person to take on, whether they are rich or poor. But leave your thoughts down in the comment section of what you thought about the Lisa Marie investigative report if you watched it. And comment down below any thoughts and opinions that you have about the breakdown analysis that I did, or your favorite fond memories of the Presley family, whether it's with the mother Lisa Marie, with the mother Priscilla. I get those two mixed up all the time. But whether it's with Priscilla Presley, whether it's with Lisa Marie Presley, or with Elvis Presley, please leave them down in the comment section below. Okay, and also don't forget to like the video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video. And always remember to love thyself, know thyself, soothe thyself, so you can heal thyself. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.